Welcome. Welcome, friend. Welcome. Welcome, friends. Welcome, friends. 24 humans. Wow. Beautiful. Must be here for the forest. Amazing. Welcome. Welcome. As we are today, we're sort of just doing this thing where, yeah, we're just going to roam, do some running through the forest, do some pan flute, do some forest stuff, forest parkour. That's sort of the move today. We just did a cold plunge about a minute ago. Yeah. You may or may not notice my voice is a little bit nasally, a bit raspy. I've kind of had some sort of sinus thing the last day or so. I don't know exactly what to attribute it to, but it is what it is. I'm sort of feeling a little under the weather, but also innately, that's not the reason why I didn't stream yesterday, actually. The stream basically was put on a hiatus because I did some LSD. I tried this LSD, this liquid LSD that I purchased the day before when I went to the beach. Whoa. But long story short, did this beautiful microdose of LSD yesterday. Wow, very magical. Honestly, I haven't done LSD in about 2 years now, but what an exceptional experience. Truly, truly. Blessings, blessings Germany, blessings from Canada, my friend. So yeah, we're gonna continue to stream in this fashion. We'll just do some qigong and do some pan flute stuff for this period. This is what we will do here. All right. Very interesting experience though yesterday. Again, the funniest thing was I did my cold plunge yesterday as the LSD was kicking in. Just a microdose, but I haven't done LSD in probably about 2 years, and I immediately noticed this very core familiar feeling that basically just asked myself a simple question. It was basically why am I engaging within this device? Like, that was the core initial thought. Was like, it was like a very gentle, very like monotone, beautiful feeling that I often feel when I'm on psychedelics, where my mind was just asking myself, like, why are you engaging this device? You know, if this destructive If it's more destructive than it is serving you, why do you engage in this? Like, why? It wasn't even like a impending feeling, but it was just this gentle, sort of blissful surrender. And that was kind of the core theme of this, as the LSD really just made me so happy with being in the present moment. Like, whether I would just sit there and do qigong or just breathe and do breath work. It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. Very blissful reminder. This is a great rock. Great rock for these handstands. Handstands for the algorithm. That's the key. Greetings. Let me know how the sound quality is for this. I think I can only imagine. I'm pretty sure from this distance it's pretty good, but yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. This is the forest that I go by every day to do my cold plunges. And then, for many years I've written many songs here. I've done many, many magic mushroom trips here. Yeah, it's a very sacred forest to me. Yeah. It's beautiful though. Today we've officially, or actually yesterday, technically, but I was on LSD yesterday. Voice to sound so nasally, it's killing me. Yeah, but the idea is I officially have unlocked monetization. That is, I'm in the partner program. So YouTube, they sent me a thing yesterday, which is wild because they usually send me a thing saying this will probably take about a month to process your application or whatever. But within like 10 hours, got a little email and they're just like, congratulations, you've been accepted in the YouTube partnership program, which is sick. It's a beautiful, beautiful moment. So I'm pretty hyped about that. Let's go a little deeper in this direction. Place this on there. All right. Phew. Welcome, friends. Remember to honor your somatic body. Honor your visceral felt experience. It's knocked over a rock. Beautiful. You know, I found myself yesterday while I was on this microdose of LSD, kind of just reflecting on what I see and what I saw, you know, many months ago, many years ago, actually, when I originally had this idea to be a YouTuber. I was like, all right, what is this going to look like? What's this going to feel like? You know, just creating this portal, creating this space. And I think the core thing that I've realized is, you know, I love doing all these different styles of streams. I love performing music. I love connecting and sharing and empowering. But I think in the simplest right, the continual intention of what I see is, I basically just want to create a very beautiful aesthetic space. Something that's very intentionally woven. What's good, friend? Good day. I'm in British Columbia. Yes. Beautiful British Columbia, as they say, for some reason. These, you can kind of make a just choking on air. Yeah, these beautiful mountains up here. It's legendary. What time is it right now? Not 2:15. This is a good time as ever. We are the only. Talk, Shay. Thank you, friend. Remember to love and nourish your body and let your body nourish you. That was a crazy move. Thank you. Yeah, J-step into backflip. It's like a weird angled backflip. Yeah, I love it. That's actually how I injured myself. So that's the move. I mean, I trained that move for about 9 months at a parkour gym on springy floors. And it was like a dream of mine to learn the backflip. I don't know why. Never in my life have I ever done a backflip. So then I decided, I was like, I'm going to train at a parkour gym because this seems the way to learn parkour. And I was surrounded by parkour athletes and coaches that were immediately just giving me incredible perspective. And I couldn't afford to keep training at the parkour gym because it's like $160 a month, which at the time I couldn't afford. Now I can afford it. But yeah, so that's the trick that I took away among various tricks. But yeah. Speaking, thinking beings, raising our voice, and our consciousness purifies the soul, eliminates negative residues. You have the raw materials to create realities. It is so beautiful, I advocate that so much on this channel, where we as individuals have such an immense ability to reform, reprogram, our reality. Just really, like, it's on such a vast level. It's actually astounding. It's almost insane, where if people actually realize, like, you may hear that quote, if people really realize how much ability, how much potency their thoughts hold, how much ability they have to reform their reality with their thoughts, with their actions, and their words, of course, all in alignment, they would never think a bad thought again. Like, you would never really realize the depths of the words that you say, to yourself, to others, to how this is interacting with your body in your larger reality. And it's a thing that we're here in this 3D reality to decipher this, to discern this. It's not like we are thrusted within, this refined sort of fully integrated human and astral reality. Like, we have to figure this out. It's the unpackaging, it's the unraveling of this dance of going in through and understanding what the 3D reality is, to put in perspective. That's always what it's been, is like, we're astral beings. We come here and we are here to figure this out, to feel all these dense, lower vibrational and higher vibrational emotions, because this is the teacher. These are the teachers. This is why we are here. And it's very significant. It's very beautiful. Our ancestors and our beings beyond this world, they've entrusted us here to enter this human vessel and to feel all of this vast emotion and complex human experience that is the school of life, of the school of the world. It's a very beautiful blessing to be here. That's just the reality. On a different note, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this really interesting speaker. He's a YouTuber. His name is Soul of Jarrett. That's his YouTube, Soul of Jarrett. And Jarrett actually had a video he released yesterday that he's speaking about a plant. Because right now, what Soul of Jarrett does, he's a YouTuber that goes to Thailand. He goes into a part of Thailand. And he hosts these little retreats, and he brings people to Thailand at this, it's like a communal elephant retreat. It's some weird place where there's a bunch of elephants and animals, and it's a beautiful little off-the-grid land. And he brings people there to do ancient medicine. Like, he basically brings them to do elephant poop mushrooms, which are basically a very potent form of psilocybin. But he's recently been speaking. He actually had this incredible talk with the guy who he's an Australian that discovered Changa, which is smokable ayahuasca. And basically, there's this substance called a phylodium puchellum. Phylodium puchellum. And what his video, and this is actually a massive discovery if you're familiar with the world of ethogens and psychedelics of sorts. Basically, Phylodium puchellum is a plant that's native to many places, but in Thailand, on this retreat where he's at, there's massive crops of Phylodium puchellum. And the thing they figured out is this Phylodium puchellum actually has an active form of 5-MeO-DMT. It's an active form, meaning that you don't need a MOI to activate it. Like say if you take ayahuasca, you need to activate the bovine with a like tribulus or MAOI. And what they figured out is, and this is a very powerful discovery, because what they were speaking of in the interview or the podcast kind of style talk is Phylodium puchellum not only has naturally occurring active 5-MeO-DMT, but this 5-MeO-DMT experience is actually more digestible and palatable than most forms of 5-MeO-DMT. That is, basically the 5-MeO-DMT experience that you experience on Phylodium puchellum, this beautiful trippy looking plant from Thailand, only lasts 2 hours. It lasts 2 hours. So basically you can integrate a 5-MeO-DMT experience, and apparently they report it's a very gentle, very balanced experience. And this is, bouncing off, like having a conversation with the fellow that basically created Changa. Like he created the plant mixture and discovered what Changa was, the Australian fellow. So yeah, Soul of Jarrett had this really interesting conversation. I was pretty sick yesterday. I was also on LSD. I did my microdose of LSD, and beautiful experience. But I was sitting there listening to this conversation, just like intrigued. This is so beautiful to hear. This is as they're speaking, this is actually a game-changing discovery in the world of psychedelics, is that this bioavailable or this bioactive form of 5-MeO-DMT will be something that most people can take. Like apparently there's going to be a mainstream application more so, or underground mainstream, where most people who are, say, not like well versed in the realms of, say, 5-MeO-DMT, they don't want to blast off into the DMT sphere, you could actually benefit from integrating this form of 5-MeO-DMT that's in Phylodium puchellum. So I found that astounding. Immediately I'm like, okay, I really am intrigued about this. It's beautiful talk, beautiful discovery. Yeah. I'll go back to this. Okay, I see. Yeah. Be the way. This guy is amazing. You're amazing. Thank you, friend. Thank you, friend. Remarkable athleticism. Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I advocate so strongly how the body, like here we are. I feel this is the second time that I've decided to be like, you know what? I'm going to take you guys alongside with me on my daily run, cold plunge, the stuff that I did a video about where I'm just doing long format. It feels very organic, where it's like, especially because it's so beautiful right now in BC. So I feel very inspired to just bring my viewers, and just like give them a bit of, plant a seed of inspiration. Like, you can just go outside and just chill in a park and do some calisthenics, do some, crazy monkey stuff. Yeah. Been to Campbell River, Courtney, Comex area. I have not actually. Campbell River, Comox. I'd love to go there, Lancer, but I've never been there. Yeah, apparently I look like a lot of people. This is like, apparently it's reported I look like a lot of human beings. He looks like someone to everyone. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have a twin, so it's possible my twin has been there, but I don't think so. Campbell River, Courtney, Comox. That's a place I would love to go to, but I don't think I've personally ever been there. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning, Amy. Yes, good morning and good afternoon from British Columbia. I sound kind of nasally. Maybe you guys, it's probably vaguely noticeable, but I've had this kind of like sinus thing that I honestly feel great, but my sinuses are kind of like destroying my tonality. The point of life is eating cheese. Yeah, if you want that to be the point of life, then yeah. The point of life is whatever you desire to make it, so I personally don't eat cheese because I think it's not the way. Absolutely free alien. Hell yeah, brother. Phylodium pachellum, exactly. Phylodium. It's like a D in there, but yeah, Phylodium pachellum. Beautiful, beautiful plant. And again, the conversation is really potent. Like I have to say, hello, what's good, Tinfoil Hatter? I need Taco Bell. Flower Boys of Life. Nice. Give me one of them vapes. Vapes. I've never used a vape in my life. Yeah. True story. Never used a vape. I stopped using nicotine, stopped smoking cigarettes when I was younger, before vapes were literally a thing. It was like vapes literally became a thing like a year, maybe 2 years after I quit all smoking. But MAOs aren't for activating the DMT, but keep your enzymes from breaking it down. Yes. No, the core thing I was trying to articulate is it's the DMT is there's bioactive. Again, I botched probably the wording of it, but it's the idea that there's a form of DMT that's available in the Phylodium pachellum that makes it so it doesn't need to have go through that process of yes being broken, because you're right, it's like the whole MAOI thing is it makes it so the DMT doesn't immediately become broken down the second you consume it or ingest it. That's the rule of MAOIs. But whatever this, again, I probably botched the actual science of it. But the idea is Phylodium pachellum has a unique property where it's available. Like it's immediately, I think it's bioavailable if I'm not mistaken. I could be botching that. But very interesting discovery. I highly recommend looking into it if you're into these kind of compounds. Did you meet the self-organizing machine elves? Never broken through. Never broken through. Very nice. Get some ginger. Great idea. I've been taking lots of oil of oregano, but I think ginger is probably the move. I'll probably go to a store later today and just like, I'm considering today, because this is the thing I did the other day. Like, if you guys are here, 2 days ago, I went to the beach. It's a beautiful beachside, British Columbia. I did a stream there before. I was actually going to stream, and what happened was, for some reason, my internet wasn't working, which my internet provider, actually, it's like roaming data. It works everywhere, but for whatever reason, it wasn't working. Tried it like 3 or 4 times to stream when I was just chilling on the beach. Wasn't working, so I just took it as a sign. I was like, all right, this is cool. And I ended up just having the best time ever, just off stream. Where I literally was just like, I was gonna just basically do a stream, perform some guitar, do some beautiful music to the beach. But the idea is I decided, okay, well, the stream's not working. That's okay. And I ended up walking over to this bonfire because I did a cold plunge. You know, after the stream wasn't working, I immediately just plunged into the ocean. And immediately my whole body felt better. Because that was the moment when I felt like I was getting like sort of sinus sort of thing. And then I plunged into the water. It felt extraordinary. Like the ocean just cleansed me. And then I went up to there was a bunch of these college students that were making a giant bonfire. And honestly had the most incredible interaction. Well, basically, at first I just walked up to these college kids and I was like, yo, how's it going? Is it cool if I just chill by your bonfire for a bit? And they're just like, yeah, of course, brother. Like, it's for everybody. And it was so chill that these dudes, I swear, like, most of these kids were like 19, 20, because UBC is right beside the beach where I'm at, which is like one of the largest universities in British Columbia. And the idea was there's all these college kids, just like young college dudes, just hanging out, you know, just by this fire. And it was so funny. I was talking to them about Changa. I was like playing my flute, and they're like, oh, do you do psychedelics? And I was like, yeah, brother. I was like, I love psychedelics. And they're like, oh, you want to talk to this guy? And there's this one dude, that really dope kid. He looks very similar to me, weirdly enough, like similar orientation or ethnicity. And the idea is this kid, he's 18 years old, and he's telling me how he's done DMT, and he's actually studying, to be a what's it called? Anesthesiologist? I don't know. So it's that thing where you're basically working with medicine. It's a weird word, but the idea is that this kid, brilliant kid, he basically was also talking about he's telling me all about how you can extract basically Changa. He was telling me he's been reading about the process of how to extract Changa, and he's been studying stuff similar and telling me it's really easy to do. But long story short, this kid was dope as fuck, and there was a bunch of these just college dudes that were just chilling there, and this really awesome bonfire. And basically then all these random people there was like these three chicks that were also doing cold plunges that came over, and they were from like Revelstoke, and very interesting crowd where I basically just had the best time ever. After I flipped off the stream, basically was just chilling by this really nice bonfire, watching the sunset, playing pan flute, talking about psychedelics, and yeah, really fun time. So that happened. Looks like, oh, it's these kids' lunchtime by this nearby school, but man, very interesting interaction where this young kid, I swear, long story short, it was like this one kid who's like 18 years old, literally like fresh into entering college. He just seemed like he was like a young psychonaut slash shaman. Like literally, this kid was not like these other kids. Because he was telling me that he said he had an experience with doing benzos where he became addicted, and he was just like really had this intense experience, and then he engaged in DMT to heal his addiction. He was like very transparent about it, saying how DMT, he really feels like it's a very sacred molecule. This brilliant kid. I was like, this is actually unbelievable. And I loved hearing this, where I was like, yes, brother. I was like, you're on the path, like, absolutely. It's cool hearing about like a young person. Seeing he's a musician. He said he was like really into jazz, and he like writes, working on some music and stuff. I think he was like, said he was a saxophone player. But yeah, super cool portal. I would have loved to capture some of that on the stream, but as it was, the universe just had other plans. The universe wanted me to be present for that experience, because that's the thing is, like I was expressing the other week, where there's something about streaming in public, and especially when I'm trying to juggle like a large audience, more or less, or a small, medium-sized audience. It's like there's a dance, I feel, to successfully being present in the real world. If you're in a public sphere, like a beach or something, where there's all these interesting interactions that are occurring. 1 second. But yeah, there's all these interesting interactions that are unraveling in front of you, and it's like this like nuanced dance to which I'm very new to flipping off the stream and be like just like exiting the stream, being present with the humans around you, but then also entering the stream at certain points and allowing yourself to just be present with that. It's very interesting. Watch out for ticks. There's actually not many ticks in this area, fortunately, in BC. Yeah, this is like, ticks only really exist in the deeper regions of BC. And here, fortunately, they're very rare. Streaming is awesome. Nice. Okay. Very nice. Yes, I am very familiar with the nature. Like, streaming is optional, of course. But also, as I'm, on the quest of building a YouTube business, becoming a YouTuber, which I'm very new, albeit, but the idea is, streaming is a thing that, again, I think you can, if you're successfully able to navigate social nuances, like you can navigate, privacy, consent, and you're good at doing that, which I naturally navigate in the real world all the time, then you can successfully create the experience where, you can honor people's consent, honor people's privacy. But for those that do desire to be a part of the experience, which many do, for whatever reason, they just want to bridge those worlds. They're very curious about becoming creators themselves. It can be a very enriching and empowering experience, especially as a creator that is intentional, has an intention that's more than just like, I don't desire to be a creator, never have to, really, or being, say, if you were to define an influencer. The reason I've chosen YouTube is because I feel like YouTube is a very specific portal, has a very specific type of community. Maybe it's people that are more in my age bracket, maybe it's devoted musicians, maybe it just attracts, a various diverse crowd. But the idea is, I think there's something more than just, like, being a streamer or being on a stream isn't about just being on a stream. Like, I've never desired to be like, okay, let's be a streamer. I've always desired to be a YouTuber, where I was like, okay, I want to create a portal, create a community. But being a streamer is just a product of having a high vision that I feel like I genuinely want to share with the world. Like, I have very little desire to just, be in a public sphere and consistently be on my phone. These are things that are actually counter to what I typically do. But I feel there's a higher intention and vision that I'm connected to. That is why I desire to share these dreams. And the simplest part, it's, I believe, like say for instance like that, I believe it's important for people to go into the real world. I think it's important for people to authentically communicate and connect, to show up, even maybe amidst discomfort, even amidst feeling dysregulated and feeling, they're just compulsively or unconsciously programmed. Because a lot of us, this is the key thing, like this is the penetrating reality, is a lot of us, we're so profoundly programmed, myself included, where we really need to step outside of these programs. We need to sit and live in the real world. We need to see the human beings, the beautiful human beings around us, connect with the community and the people around us. And that's kind of what I like to offer in a little blip, even just in a little glimmer, maybe in a perspective or a conversation, is you can really reconnect with the beauty that is in the real world. And for a guy like myself, my community, my immediate reality is I connect with and I attract artists. I attract like philosophers, free thinkers. That's just what I do. That's what I resonate with, right? So I think the core message of myself in this stream space, in this YouTube sphere, is always the same. It's just being in a place where you're able to be, hello, greetings, where you're able to just be present and be authentically present and communicate and etc., wherever you are. Realizing that you do not have to be a product of unconscious programming. You don't have to just take the world as you see it. You can be a free thinker. You can penetrate the programming with the right narrative. And the core part of it is, again, just being present in the real world, realizing the real world is a beautiful place. You can go out, experience the community around you, express your truth unapologetically, play music, express yourself. These are healing modalities that are penetrating the programming, without a shadow of a doubt, especially when it feels challenging. So stream, not stream, that's not necessarily my prerogative. Never has been. It's just about carrying on the vision, the message, Well, that was a nice run so far. Run, cold plunge. This is my cat. She likes to steal my seat for some reason. Come on. Let's go. Come on. All right. Good man, Metron's Cuber. Nice. Yes, sir, Metron's Cube. Metatron's Cube. Honestly, something, because this is the thing, is I'm also a tutter, right? I like to dance, create shapes and portals with dance. And I find this is something I've been very enamored with. This is, in essence, sacred geometry in nature and in everything. The idea that basically what I noticed, I realized this a while ago, and this actually started happening when I started doing Chenga, Chenga DMT, is I began to realize that you can incorporate sacred geometry inside of tutting, instead of dancing, via secondary movements. You can basically become fluent at drawing shapes, be it sacred geometry shapes, be it full-on geometrical shapes, with secondary movements in dance. And even further, because I'm a light lover, so I create light shapes, play around with different color patterns and lights with the shapes. So you can basically become very fluent at creating shapes via secondary movement that are sacred geometry and using light to trace that. It's very cool. It's a good time. I'm still deciding. I'm not sure if it's the move or not to go to the ocean today or go to a different ocean, maybe plunge into the oceans to do something good for my sinuses. I don't know. Oh yeah. Okay, let's see how we'll do this. Yeah, as I was kind of like sharing, oh, I've been working on this one song. It's like a vocal piece that's very intimate vocal piece. That is, the lyrics are very like intensive, but the nature of it is basically it sounds very like Oasis slash Nirvana slash like 3 Days Grace slash The Strokes inspired. I've been just like tentatively playing around with it. It's a very interesting sound. It's like new to me to do that style of playing, but it sounds good. It sounds very good. Oh. Formulation of intentionality. I can see that. Yeah, brother. It's almost like in a world where a lot of us we're like so deeply programmed, and especially when we're talking about social media, right? Social media is like a programmed wasteland where it's like you have to actually go really far outside of your programming to actually successfully see how much your quality of life is deteriorating, especially if you're a creator. Like that's the sort of weird part of it is like you might see a lot of content creators and you're like, whoa, they're living their best life, or wow, they're doing this and that. And a lot of it, it's like an egoic trap where they're getting so locked in, like via dopamine, like their minds are basically becoming so programmed where they don't necessarily realize that the relationship they're forming with social media, with their business, with their community, is something that's not necessarily aligning with what they desire to align it with. And they can change that. Like creators, they have so much ability typically if they've grown and established something. But it's basically what I'm saying is like it's a slippery slope. Would you like to hear whenever you're ready to share it? Would love to hear it. Yeah. I don't think my voice, like again, my sinuses for some reason are just like slightly clogged. Not the day, definitely not the day to share it, but it sounds dope. Like I'll be honest, in the next couple days, I'm definitely my body's gonna heal. I'll be back at 100%, and I will definitely share it because it's a good song. Like the part of it that's interesting about this song is the message is really interesting, and again, it sounds like literally just like an Oasis song spliced with like the Strokes, spliced with a little bit of Nirvana, and it's weird, like, because that's not my style. I mean, it is. I love all that stuff, but I've never attempted to write a song in that style. But I kind of just woke up one day and was having like a stressed kind of. My nervous system was feeling very compromised, and I was like, I woke up and I was like, you know what? I want to write a song. But I was like, you know what? I want to write a song that's like. One second. I think I'm going to sleep. Excuse me. I think that helped clear my sinuses, but yeah. I don't know. It could even be like I'm not even feeling like I'm dying right now. Like I feel great, but my sinuses are like plugged. So I think I was at a bonfire, at this rec beach thing. I was sitting there in front of this like massive bonfire for like an hour or two. So it might have been just my sinuses just got wrecked from receiving all the smoke from this fire. I don't know, something weird like that. But yeah, good times. Did you listen to Pat Metheny? I don't think I did. I think I wrote down his name, but then I kind of had myself a very intense period of few days. I love Spring Ache here and so many other tracks. Interesting. And my cat, she's trying to sneak out. Let me get her. Here we go. Come on, it's so cute. It's so cute. This hat has so much potential. For this, it's such a lightweight hat for how it looks. I feel like I could do some crazy dope hat tricks with this baby. But yeah, the idea is, yeah, can we meet your cat, please? Oh yeah, I'll grab her. I'll grab her at some point. She probably wanted to go upstairs and I don't know, just like scratch some stuff, eat some treats. But yeah, the thing is, she pees around the house if I don't personally escort her. It's very weird. Like I've developed this relationship with my cat where she's like really kind if I personally like give her permission to go places. Like if I escort her somewhere, I take her to places, she won't pee on stuff. She won't, you know. But if for whatever reason, I guess I don't know, other people kind of get her ruffled up or stressed out, then she'll just start peeing in random places. So yeah, I like to kind of just give her. I like to like build a good rapport and let her know she's safe and she can do whatever she wants, and then she doesn't pee on stuff. It's great. It's wild. It's weird. It's like cats, they just respond to good energy and compassion very deeply, especially female cats. Getting a bit messy there right now. Yo, thank you, brother. Honestly, I've been thinking about that a lot. Where it's like, again, I've been kind of like under the weather a little bit the last 24 hours, but damn, am I blessed? Like, I feel super grateful. I'm like, holy shit. Because it's funny, because even YouTube, I reached out, and I like sent them the thing where I'm like, oh, I have to apply for YouTube partnership. I didn't even know what that was. And like, okay, you got to apply for the program or whatever. And they sent me a thing saying this usually takes about a month. And I was kind of like low key depressed. I'm like, okay, I mean, it is what it is. But they sent me a thing, and it's like, I applied 2 days ago, and they were just like, okay, you've been passed for this part, for ad revenue, whatever. And then they're just like, okay, so it's going to take about a month. Like, this usually takes about a month to get accepted for the YouTube partnership program. And then not even like 10 hours later, I get a thing. It's like, you've been accepted in the partnership program. It's like, damn, like, this is great. Which is great. So now it's like, I'm officially about, like I said in my post, probably about 700 watch hours, 700 watch hours away from being now at 4,000. So then I'll get ad revenue, which is tight as fuck. So that's great. Yeah, thank you for the support, brother. Thank you for the congratulations. There's only one Pat Metheny, man. I love Demolia. I think I did check out Pat, but maybe I didn't. Let's check out Pat. Yeah. Metheny. American Jazz. Right. Yes. I did not check out this guy. Definitely not. He looks dope as fuck, I gotta say. He's got great hair. Yeah. No, I know, but the last, like, 24 hours, I swear, I literally just, like, adventured elsewhere, noticed myself get a little bit under the weather, and then just did some LSD. And the LSD, I have to say, in the most immediate sense, like what I kind of reported, it felt so beautiful. Like, for some reason, I actually, the entire time, I was like I don't know if you guys have seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. You know how Johnny Depp's character in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, he's on LSD at some point where he's like in a club. And for some reason, I was having that scene play in my head all the time where I felt just like that. Where I felt like I was like on LSD. I was only on a microdose. But because I haven't done LSD in like 2 years, I felt really good. Like I felt very noticeably altered on this LSD. It felt amazing. Honestly, I remember just wandering around, just like looking at objects and looking at my contact juggle ball and just being like so enamored. I was like, oh man, like this is so beautiful. It was good LSD, so to speak. It was probably the best LSD I've ever had so far, which is great. Even a microdose, I loved it. Thank you, Amy. Bless. Appreciate you. So very much, it's funny though, when I was on this LSD, for some reason, my natural voice, like when I was like speaking, I sounded like Johnny Depp. Like, I don't know if it was just my voice was just playing around with that for whatever reason, but I was just kind of like, yeah, I sounded like Johnny Depp in like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Like, that's for some reason what my natural voice was when I was on the LSD. It was just kind of like spaced out, but confused, but also just like, what's going on? It's like this thing. I don't even know how to do the voice. I could only do it when I was on LSD, but it was great. Such a great place. Such a great realm. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't like Johnny Depp, real life Johnny Depp. It was Johnny Depp, and weirdly enough, this happens a lot when I I don't know why exactly. It's not like I try to do it actually, but when I'm on like high doses of shrooms, the same thing happens. Is like I enter a voice monologue that sounds very similar to Johnny Depp. Like Johnny Depp when he's doing a character. Like Johnny Depp when he's like doing Captain Jack Sparrow, or when he's doing any character, like literally like a lot of the characters in his movie, when he's doing a performance, he has like a voice. And for some reason, my voice naturally goes into that. Like it's doing it playfully. It's not like I have like, it's just for some reason that's the natural place where my voice goes. It's great. It's really great though. Whoa. Let's not plug that like that. Alright, I've never seen Fear and Loathing. It's a really weird movie, I must say. It's very entertaining, but also very weird. Cause wow, it's such a beautiful. I love the initial picture. You know the picture that I posted for. Wow, yeah, for the stream. It's like beautiful capture. Yeah, but no, he's I couldn't really, again, my voice is very nasally right now, so I'm not even gonna attempt to do any like impressions. But yeah, it's great. It's like it's a very playful, mysterious, kind of confused, but like, yeah, just classic Johnny Depp energy. It's great. But it just happens. Like, I swear, it's like if I'm on high grams of mushrooms or like yeah, or like LSD, my voice sometimes just slips into this strange like space. It's great. It's great. Ooh, gotta flip that off. Delete that and delete that. Oh, no, we don't want that. We want this. We want this, we want that. I need to watch that movie. Just see why it's a cult classic. Yeah, I must say, it's like so much of it. It's kind of like Johnny Depp's character. He's very like, well, he's like, what's his name, Hunter Thompson. So he's playing this Hunter S. Thompson character, who's basically just this unhinged, hilarious character that's basically masterfully showing how a person acts under the influence of many different drugs, like psychedelics, other drugs. Like he's like portraying a person that's under the influence of various intoxicants and is trying to almost like, yeah, like navigate the world in this very interesting place where he's also a reporter, a writer, and he's like doing his thing where he's going through Las Vegas really high on all these intoxicants. Eventually he gets to a point where it's like he's like incoherent and everything becomes very intense and discombobulated, but most of the movie is just this awesome character that's Johnny Depp doing an incredible job portraying this altered state, and it just gets more and more absurd. It's beautiful. Honestly, I love that movie so much. For whatever reason, it made me really like enamored. That's weird. This is what we need. It made me enamored with the idea of doing substances, but in like in a responsible way. It's like I was enamored with the idea of like, yeah, I just want to do some peyote or mescaline or like, or do some LSD. Yeah, I call it my low man voice. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I have many different voices I kind of slip into when I'm on like LSD. Truthfully, like mainly like it's like a Zen. It's almost like when I'm reading Zen philosophy. Like these are voices that I just naturally love to engage in. It's like if I'm on LSD or something, my this is actually how I discovered how to explore voices in the sense of like, if I'm reading like Alan Watts or like ancient Zen philosophy, when I narrate it to myself, of course, it literally is just coming out like I'm speaking like very softly, almost like a Zen philosopher would speak, and it just comes out very natural that way. I really love that. It's like using like a very wistful, very gentle, um, relaxed tone, very intentional with every word. Ooh, yeah. We're trying one of those lava acoustic guitars where they sound effects. Lava acoustic guitars. No, no, yeah, not yeah. I've never heard of that lava acoustic guitar. I'm gonna check that out right now, but never. My acoustic guitar experience is very limited to just this. I basically bought I had a small half-size acoustic guitar that I was rocking when I was a kid, and then I bought this, 11 years ago, and that's basically the only acoustic guitar that I've truly like really gone deep with. Because the thing is, I'm a strong believer in it's not the guitar necessarily that matters. I mean, obviously you want to have like a high quality acoustic guitar that you can connect with, that you love, that you are attracted to pick up. But as a guy that's played the same guitar very like religiously for like 11 years, it is surely the degree that you as a musician hone your ability to navigate said guitar. It's not about like necessarily the guitar. And yes, like navigating like how to calibrate the sound setup is a part of navigating what the guitar itself is. Lava acoustic. Acoustic. What a cool name though. But truthfully, it's like I swear, if you look at my playing style, someone asked me how do I play the way I play, or oh yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. These are cool. These are cool as fuck. I never tried, but aren't these the ones that have like an app? It has like an app hooked up to it that basically you can, yeah, use an app to create all these. It's very similar to like the updated toned amp guitar, the updated toned amp. Whoa, what? There's someone that has a lava, okay, ESP Gary Holt Signature Series electric guitar in liquid metal lava. That is a beautiful guitar. Holy shit. But yeah, no, like the idea is that I really feel that part of understanding how to play an acoustic guitar is literally just coming down to how you will navigate the intent, the intonation, and the action. So it's like you know that okay, the intonation and action is correct. It's like, you know, you have the right gauge of strings, you have your action and intonation properly calibrated, and then you learn how to play from a place, even that was a little off, but where you're executing from a place that is navigating this successfully, and then on top of that, you have a technical ability that you've developed where you're just like, okay, so surely it's like having a guitar that you've played for like an excess amount of years, like you've played it for like 5, 10 plus years, that is so pivotal to learning to hone every nuance of the instrument. That's at least in my experience, is like a good guitarist should desire to like master their said guitar, because you will find there is 1000% so many nuances that you'll unlock only after years and years and years of playing on the very same guitar. And part of that is like, say for me, it's like I use a preamp that is interacting with the natural settings of this, which is interacting with maybe how I stream that into Ableton, which is also enhancing the way that I play certain elements. Yeah, it's great. Tell the truth, talent comes to mystical hats. Sure. Yeah, I must say, I know you're coming from a place of what's the word? Yeah, it's like you're just thrown out to a meme or sort of a, I forget the word. I don't know, my brain's not braining that well, but the idea is right now, yeah, it's the hat I got 2 weeks ago. It's it definitely helps with like songwriting. Weirdly enough, like genuinely the ability to songwrite, express myself in different ways, like via songwriting, like say vocal pieces or whatever it is definitely enhanced. But yeah, I think the 16, 17 years of guitar playing before I got the hat definitely is what's actually responsible. Hat's just the hat's a hat. It's a great hat though. It's a great hat. Honestly, it's yeah. Do I have a blue and brown eye? No. That I do not. Yeah, no. I have a blue and green eye though. Yeah. If that's, you can't really see that though, so I'm assuming there's no way you could see that. Only if you like stare deeply into my eyes, you'll see that one eye is slightly more green blue. Like they're both green blue, but one is more like has a shade on the iris that's more blue, and then one is more green. Yeah. I figured that out a number of years ago when I was on insurance. I was like, what the fuck? Because I always thought it was cool. I was like, whoa, you see dogs and different animals that have like different color eyes. And then I suddenly realized that I have different color eyes. I was like, that's crazy. But whatever it is, it's just great. Eyes are amazing. Eyes are just so great. Like legitimately, I don't know about you, but like the more I meet people, like human beings, and I see their eyes, and I'm like engaged in like maybe it's just a picture of them or whatever, and I see different eyes, I'm just like wow, like there is such extraordinary just natural beauty in eyes. Ooh. My rhythm's a little bit it's a little bit off, but it'll take a little bit of time. Yeah. Eyes are windows to the soul and person's soul, absolute beauty. Oh wow. Can you really now? I don't know, maybe you can. Honestly, it's you can maybe see the green blue, but if you really like if you have to like really look up close to be like, oh, I think it's like yeah, this one's more green, this one's more blue. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. What is going on? I think that my guitar chord might be cooked. Like that's what's going on here. My guitar chord actually might be slowly doing some weird stuff. That is so weird. Guitar chords are so weird, I have to say. Like they get fried at the most random of times. Okay. Let's use this guitar chord. Very sharp eyes. Yeah. That's actually, yeah. He must have really, like, I don't know, yeah, I don't even know how to say it. Like, it's so difficult to see it, but he really, if you look up close, yeah, it's clear as day. Yeah, this one's green, this one's blue, but I don't know how you saw that brother from out here. Like, from out here, that's like, yeah, that's incredible, bro. You're, uh, you're a national treasure. There we go. It takes a nuance to put the hat on properly for some reason. Whoa, no thanks. Okay, let's see if we can... Oh yeah, that's a way better sound. Way better. Way better chord. Way better chord. My eyes are green, but they change slightly based on the clothes I wear. Wow. That's wild, Amy. That's beautiful. Well, I have to say, yeah, I love green eyes on human beings. Just in general, it's... Oh, damn. What? What is going on here? Is my tone and amp just low? That's so weird. Maybe it's the chord I'm here. Okay, it says I'm guitar the 3.3. Maybe it is low. We're just doing some troubleshooting here. 1 second. Troubleshooting. Yeah. It's crazy though. I find it like the sensation of like being this close to being fully monetized, on top of like, I mean, I've been feeling sick in the last couple of days. I'm honestly just feeling like garbage. Like truthfully, it's like my mental health is kind of dipped because my physical health's kind of dipped, and I don't know. It's been a place where I've just been kind of trying to, stay rooted, stay focused on being healthy and nourishing myself. But the simple reality is, I think it's actually bizarre. Like younger me, like 10 months ago or like a year ago, would literally be like fucking off the wall excited for where I'm at in this realm of YouTube right now. Because it's like it only felt like such a distant memory to be like, oh, or a distant dream to be like, oh, word, like let's be monetized. Like let's actually have the capacity to hop onto YouTube and actually be like, this is a thing that I can do as a career. It's just the idea. It doesn't even matter about what money I'm making. It's the simple fact that I'm like, oh word, I can wake up and actually begin to acquire income off a way that I'm like that I love, that it's very intentional. Because it's like for a lot of us, myself included, for many years, I think my mind was very like locked in the idea of like really locked in out of fear, out of which many of us obviously still are, and to some degree it's like you think of like, oh, but to get money I have to commute to a job for X amount of time and then work 8 hours and then do that 5 days a week and then have to wait 2 weeks to get a paycheck and then deal with bosses and coworkers and blah blah blah, which is the end of the day, like that's not the end of the world. Some people have phenomenal jobs that fit that model, but it's like the fact that your brain can process being like, wait a second, but if I could just do something that transcends all of those dimensions. Like something you still have to grind. When I do YouTube, the visions I have with YouTube, I'm going to be grinding and grinding and applying myself and constantly showing up. But the idea is like, it blows my mind. Like, you know what? The fact that I'd be like, you know what? I don't even have to ever have a boss again. I mean, I work in the film industry where my agents are technically, I'm their boss, or technically they work for me, which is already, for me, it's a massive step forward. But to think that I'm that much closer to be able to never have to think about, if I didn't desire to, a model of work where I'm like, oh, but I have to wake up at 7 a.m. and go to this job for 8 a.m. and force myself to do that. Like the thought that that's like a memory of a memory, potentially, like in the potential reality of how I'm manifesting and materializing my things. And that's just bizarre. Like younger me would be looking at that and it would be like such a breath of fresh air to be like, the fact that that exists is just a breath of fresh air to be like, this is a reality that is in a distant place. Because even like, I'll be honest, the thing that's made me inspired beyond just creating this vision of a YouTube channel is like, literally, it's always been the inclination that there is something on the other side of the door. Like it's the same reason as a young kid. As a young kid when I picked up a guitar, where I knew that I wasn't going to be able to see any progress or degree of success with guitar until many, many, many years later, if not ever. But it was just the simple idea that, oh, one day in a distant future, there's like a light at the end of the tunnel that may look like something so exquisite. That alone, it just gives me this like glimmer of like almost like hope and inspiration to want to even just be alive. Like it makes me like look at my life in a different way. And that for me, for many years, at least for like a year and a half, was YouTube. It was like, and I have many of those, but it's like even the very like faint idea that I could succeed at YouTube gave me like a breath of fresh air where I was just like, yes. Like it was like I would like romanticize life and desire to show up as the best version of myself over and over and over again. And like that alone that's magical. Like that is true, true, true magic. Yeah. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Poirier. Ooh, that's another one. Magic. Spotted from the sharp blue eyes myself. Ah, I see. That makes sense, dog. That makes sense. But thank you for sharing, brother. I appreciate you chiming in. Like, this is the kind of thing is, this stream space, like, even when I was, like, new, I had, like, 10 viewers or, like, 20, 30 people chiming in a max. I truly feel like I want this to more so be a space where people have a full awareness of how to exercise healthy boundaries. And what I mean by that is like you're allowed to exit the stream whenever you want, as am I. Like if I'm like, you know what, I'm really not feeling this, I'm gonna go to the beach, which may happen in like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, is like I'm exercising healthy boundaries in relation to social media. And again, what I'm simply saying is for anyone that feels they're like, word, I've had a great day, I'm enjoying this energy, I'm enjoying whatever's going on here, like the performance musically or whatever, just discovering this channel, I really highly revere your right to honor your boundaries. So if you, and the funny thing is boundaries, because I'm a strong believer, if you're new here, you know, I talk about this often, where I think boundaries are one of the most fundamental, pivotal, but also simple parts of life. Is it like you're allowed to honor your boundaries at any given second. And one of the sad realities of how social media has programmed our psychology, our dopaminergic pathways, is it's given us this illusion that we are basically we have to be accessible and others are entitled to our energy at any given time. Like that's an illusion. That's a delusion, actually. If you think that you're like, oh damn, I have to stay here because of XYZ, because of anxiety, pressure, this, that, you know, distorted, convoluted, I guess, perceptions, that's an illusion. Boundaries are something that they're sacred to you. You're allowed to honor your boundary at any given second. That boundary is you taking back your energy, your power. You're allowed to exit the stream, put down your phone, flip off your phone at any given second, as am I. You know, if you're in an interaction on social media and someone's like, blah, 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 maybe they're feeling like they're very energetically or emotionally charged, or maybe they're just, you know, wanting to say hello, and you're just like, you know what, I don't have the time and energy to prioritize this. You're allowed to honor your boundary at any given second. So, anyways, the whole tangent of that was I appreciate people coming in here in these streams, like even when I'm like, you know, floating through and juggling thousands of people and doing whatever, zero expectations, zero pressure, always. Always. You could pop in for 5 minutes. I'd be happy to have you. I wouldn't be like, take it personal that a person pops in, they pop out. Like that means it's not a personal endeavor. You're allowed to value and honor your time and honor your boundaries. And that could look like some days where, like, you know what, I'm here for a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or it could look like you're here for whatever X amount of time. And I love seeing that because that's what I feel it is a person honoring their boundaries, valuing their time. That's what I love to see. That is a healthy relationship with boundaries in social media. So I just want to put that out there. Is like if anyone, you know, they're like, all right, I've enjoyed the stream. Now I need to care with my day. I need to be present in my reality. Do so. Exercise that, and I commend you highly. Anyways. But thank you for popping in, Matt. You seem dope as fuck. Mine, not money. Gave my sister a green emerald scarf. Green is just such a beautiful color. Like, truthfully, is this like human beings apparently have developed, you know, over hundreds, if not thousands of years, the ability to see more shades of green than any other color. You know, it's like we can see a myriad of different greens, namely because, you know, in nature, we need to be able to see all these different shades of green to spot, say, a predator or just, you know, try to capture a prey or whatever the ancient hunters did. But the idea is that we can see so many exquisite shades of green. Like even when I look around my room, I have tapestries of nature everywhere, but it's like you can see so many different shades of green, more than any other color. And that is very beautiful. Like it's a very like psychoactive experience. But yeah, lots of good greens, lots of good reds, lots of good greens. I love emerald green. Emerald green. Yeah, just thinking about it, that makes me happy. Yeah. Been in my career for 10 years, and sometimes I look back when I first started and wonder how I got through the first few years. I knew nothing about it. Here I am. That's awesome, bro. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think the power of competence, the power of trust within oneself, literally is the force of it's the force of nature. Like if you can trust yourself and your path, you can literally do anything. But conversely or adversely, if you do not trust yourself, like really on the deepest level, you cannot trust your ability to apply yourself and execute action, then it doesn't matter how much the universe aligns certain things, you will not be able to pull those threads and see the perspective. So yeah, that's dope, bro. I think in the world of jobs and careers, we're talking about a very like multi-dimensional parallel where a lot of people, like without going on a deep, you know, rabbit hole, it's like myself included, when I pulled these threads and understand like entering the film industry and working in commercials and, you know, doing alternate jobs where I have different hours and I'm receiving, you know, maybe more or less income for certain things, you'll realize that this might just sound like, words or a sort of like a belief that's beyond conceptualization, but there are truly like insane vast parallels of how you can receive income, build a livelihood that are far beyond a lot of people's comprehension. Like in the simplest right, like I'm not even talking about just like, okay, get a different job that's like in a different place. It's like you don't even realize how like little most of us have no value or perception of what money is. Like that's the bizarre reality is like myself included. Is like a lot of us we lack an in-depth level of financial intelligence, and rooted to that like our awareness of how far money can go. That's the simplest thing I'm saying is like a lot of us, unfortunately it's just a product of capitalism and consumerism and whatever, is like a lot of us, myself included, we don't look even twice. We're like, oh yeah, I'll spend that dollar, I'll spend that $10 on whatever thing we justify doing, and we don't realize in the real larger scope. Maybe again, I'm not speaking for everybody, maybe some people have an in-depth awareness of this, but most people, myself included, don't realize how far money can go. And it's bizarre because once you actually begin to unpackage that, as a bird just flew by, it will change you indefinitely. Like you'll be like, you know what, how can I actually study having a deeper level of intelligence connected to how you perceive money? Yeah. What's good, Billy? What's good, brother? It's like my eyes. They're a term calling for every chain called gallus. Gassel. Gas. Gas. I see. That's cool. I love brown eyes. They feel warm and fuzzy inside. That's beautiful. Caramel flecks. Yeah. I can appreciate a nice brown, good brown eyes. For some reason, I've always had like a very interest to like brown eyes that are like yellow brown eyes. Like brown eyes that have like a deeper yellow. Don't even know how to describe it, but yeah, that's cool. I don't know, just eyes as in general are just phenomenal, I have to say. Speakers are kind of bugging out. It's definitely getting too warm to be rocking coats. Maybe this is just the sign I need to go to a beach. Like that's just this is the sign universally. It's like it's time to just be on a beach. Bless you, Amy. cows are calving. Your cows are calving. Fair, fair. Wow. That's awesome about your cows, brother. That's so cool that you have cows. Yeah, in truth, I actually, yesterday I didn't do a live stream. So I think you've been caught up. Like yesterday I didn't do a live stream because I was on LSD. I did a microdose of LSD. For the first time in like years. And I have to say, very beautiful, very subtle, very gentle. I feel like most of the day I just desire to just chill in the forest, just kind of reflect and sit with nothing, just do qigong. But I have to say, yeah, huge part of being on LSD was I felt an immediate, uh, I guess, detraction. I felt very unattracted to being on my phone. Like even in simple, I probably could have done a live stream. I probably would have been a great live stream. But I was like, part of it, like also I had a bit of stuffed sinuses. But I was on LSD and I felt so at peace with just not engaging in my phone. And it's good. It's like not every day has to be a live stream day. But it was like that was kind of part of the core thing about this LSD experience was I think it was inviting me fully to just be present with the experience. You know, that was the core theme that occurred is like when I was on this microdose of LSD, I just immediately wanted to do things. I was like, all right, beautiful. I'm on this LSD. Well, let's go to the forest. Let's go to this beach place. Like, let's go on transit, go here. But I realized that my mind didn't want to do those things. Like, my mind was like almost forcing myself to try to do the human experience. But I was like, the LSD was literally just requesting, be like, just be. Like, what if you just sit in the forest and meditate all day, or just, you know, gently play pan flute or guitar and just allow yourself to just be, which was an interesting experience. Where I was like, wow, the LSD is right. just, just, just this is okay. Great experience though. 20 left. 80 calves. What? 80 calves are listening to me right now? What? That's so dope. That's so magical to think that there's just all these little baby cows. That song was for the calves. That was for the baby cows. I was just playing that song thinking about the cows living a prosperous life. Like literally, my mind was like having little flashes of cows just running through the forest, little baby cows. I'm like, but yeah, that song was for the cows. Yeah. Oh, would that key shift work? Like key shift kind of works. Key shifts are so weird. I swear. Like, it's literally just a thing. Like your mind kind of just. Yeah. Can you do Eastern quarter notes on your pan flute without having to do a note bend? Quarter notes without having to do a note bend. Eastern quarter notes. What do you mean by that? Do you mean like, if you mean like scaling, I basically, you basically have to do everything that has any significance. You gotta bend into it. Like it's like, if I'm in this key, like this is G major, or no, G sharp. Yeah, what am I thinking? Yes, G sharp. Like, or no, C major, I don't know. My brain's cooking. I think it's G major and C major is like the scales I can probably where I go, or I can go like. I basically just change one note and I have the major scales. But to access the minor scales, I gotta like bend into it in a different key, or I have to like start on a different key and then bend at certain points. Basically, the whole thing with the pan flute is you bend into the minor notes, and you depending on the scale you enter or the key you're in, you bend at different intervals. But it's always like a similar kind of pattern. It's like it's weird. It's weird as fuck. I'll be honest. All of the weirdest part about it is it's all by ear. It's like you're not really. It's all by feel and by ear. So it's not like you can just play a scale. If you're just like, all right, let's go to a B major scale, and you can just like, calibrate it very simply. It takes a little bit of nuance to figure it out. It's beautiful though. It makes you really strengthen your ear training. Fair enough. Fair enough to Ben. Honestly, brother, I'm like under the weather a little bit. Like my sinuses are for some reason like I think I have like a sinus infection or something weird. Maybe it might have been from sitting in front of a fire and a giant bonfire for like 2 hours at a beach the other day. But also, I don't know. It's weird. I think there's a part of a role that's being played is I think if I do cold plunges too much, this all could be a coincidence though. I'm under the impression if I'm like already getting sick or something, my immune system gets a bit compromised, and I'm maybe like pushing my immune system even further by doing cold plunges like multiple times a day, I think it plays into a role where they start to like interact, and my immune system could get slightly compromised. I don't know. I feel pretty good, but I also feel like my sinuses are just kind of like out of it. So I feel you, brother. Like I hope you rest up and yeah, feel less drained or feel nourished. Cause I feel you there, brother. I feel like these last couple days have been really testing my immune system and my fortitude, if you will. It's great though. It's great though. It's good if you have to have your fortitude tested sometimes. I think we're gonna take a pivot and go chill in the outside world for a moment. Get some sunlight, actually. My sinuses are just crazy. They're just crazy. It's just wild. As a guy that has pretty solid health, it's surprising to be like, damn, I'm getting hit with stuff. Oh, word. Yo, it's my neighbor's cat. She's just chilling. She's just chilling on my thing. That's good. That's good. All right. Magic. That's not gonna work, is it? Post a recipe for you on the chat tomorrow. Great shamanic plant medicine. Interesting. Word, yeah, I would love to speak to Tibetan Tibetan sea visions. I feel, yeah, brother. I mean, if you're still here, we'll speak about this later. I spoke about this earlier when I was chilling in the forest. There is a YouTuber that was speaking very openly about this plant in Thailand called the Pilodium pachellum. The Pilodium pachellum. It's like a very, almost like fern-looking plant. And there's been apparently a massive discovery of how this plant has naturally occurring 5-MeO in there. I'd love to hear your perspective about that, Tibetan. Once you're back, brother. Exactly, exactly. That's right. That's true. That's true, Billy. Immune system will just whoosh, just surge the beautiful momentum and just integrate, gain immunity to another virus. That's the right perspective. Just gonna check here to see if there's a package I ordered. I should be here right now. Should have arrived. Maybe not. This package. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah, thing is the other day, lost this tuning fork that I had, a 528 hertz. So I just recently ordered another one here. Yeah. Found some archaeology on a mountain, right? I submitted the location to be analyzed. Some archaeology. Wow. Found on Google Earth when I had checked the archaeology and said nothing had been found. Huh. Wow. That's actually phenomenal. I feel like that's definitely something I would love to do in the future. Because there's a thing called geocaching. But also, even further, I know there was someone that commented early on the stream about how um, apparently there's certain locations on Google Earth that have, what is it, spiritual significance. Or it's like they almost like call you. yeah, it's almost like they have like certain sites, maybe ancient sites, or maybe just places that you just desire to go to. That's a location that's like very significant energetically. Something I've never heard of and I've never thought of. But I think that's a really special thought is like, how can one tap into that? You know, the ability to just see specific locations, you know, on a worldwide map and then be able to maybe do something like geocaching where, you know, other people have gone and planted little treasures or implant some treasures there yourself, or maybe just find like a way to connect with certain parts around the world. Somewhere you just desire to go, like maybe you just look on a map, you're like, that is where I desire to be. And this feels very interesting. Yeah, so using like a coordinate. Here it is. That sound is awesome. Yeah, this is the 520 hertz. I've really missed this fork. I haven't had this fork for like probably like 4 or 5 days now. And that's the thing is like I've really genuinely noticed the experience of not having this frequency. Feels very good to have it back. It is my anchor. Ah, very nice. It's been wicked. Man, just I've been very excited with these experimental streams, you know, as I've been sort of actively communicating, as I've been engaging in these. It's just the nature just the nature of going and roving and doing, you know, different dimensions of being in the real world. Just be in my neighborhood. It feels so activating. And it seems to really beautifully harmonize and really just inspire these deeper streams where I'm holding space for creating music. And really, it's like there's a balance I feel ultimately with streaming. There's definitely a balance where it's like you find yourself creating something, you know, in a space like your room or your studio, and then you can dive into the real world where you can then extract perspective from this free form portal that is in the real world. You know, it's like you're streaming in the outdoors, you're streaming indoors, and they accent each other, they potentiate your ability to access depth from both. And that's what I'm really seeing lately is like, you know, whether I'm going to a beach or I'm like, you know, where I'm going to go and train outside or go to this place or that place. It almost seems like there's a very masterful way of integrating your reality, your present experience as a streamer. That also is integral with you, you know, as a person. You're just like, you know what? Here's the time and place to intentionally weave a stream or not. And it's interesting. I'm just gonna play some piano for a short period. I follow the animal tracks. A single track is the doubles varied. Double tracks are wagons. Wow, I see. You're just doing some like old school human primal stuff. That's beautiful, brother. That's beautiful. Now, I think it's interesting. Kind of just like openly reflecting on the nature of streaming, where I think it's curious how for some, you might see a streamer that's like doing some sort of dynamic where the core emphasis is being inside of their room or something, where they're just, they're doing a stream where they're holding space or creating some sort of dynamic. Maybe they're talking on the computer or doing some sort of video game thing. And I think it's almost absurd in a sense and almost extraordinary limiting the way that some people don't realize that streaming is not meant to be, at least in my perspective, it's not supposed to be something that's fixed. It's not supposed to be something that's locked in, where you're just in your room all day creating an experience. Of course you can be, that can be the role you desire to take on, but I think the most natural and healthy relationship with something like, say, being a YouTuber or streamer is it's just living an active, sort of multi-dimensional life where basically you're just living in the real world, doing the things you desire to do, not being locked into, say, sitting in your computer chair, trying to be this like entertaining performer type guy. I mean, that's beautiful. That's your modality, but I think it's like the essence of streaming is supposed to be an echo of the organic and intentional experience of the real world. And I think that's really important. Where it's like you're not trying to force a YouTube experience or a stream experience around what you do, or you're not wanting to force your life and reality around the stream experience. You're doing the opposite, where you are just living as you would as a regular human. And the stream just happens to be an accent of that. You're tastefully allowing yourself to incorporate the elements of that. Not forcing it, but allowing yourself to just be like, what? How does this accent the ability to just go? Like using it as almost like a container that inspires you to, as I've spoken before, it's like co-creating, co-collaborating with the very dimension that is a stream or is, your YouTube space. Whoa, hummingbirds. And pan flute comes in at some point. Yeah. Yeah, brothers. Unlimited potential. And the ones who are still sit streaming called or permission to save safety. The adrenaline of the con and they get the gaming matures. Yeah. It's on again. It's an infinite parallel. I'm sure to some degree, the homies that are sitting there, or the homettes, or the guys and the girls that are sitting there, doing gaming streaming. They're like, hey, this is what I am. This is what I've developed. This is the convention that is working for me of like, chilling, playing a video game, and people are like, hey, this is so cool. They're reinforcing a realm, a model of their reality. Like it's a one-dimensional model, but they're reinforcing it. Like they're like, hey, this is what's working. This is what we're expecting. This is what is, right? And maybe it's working for them. Maybe they're thriving within that space. And maybe on some degree they desire to be like, you know what, but what is outside of that door? Like, but what if I was like a COD streamer, but I also desired to be like, well, let's go play some guitar, in between, I don't know, respawn points, or let's go for a walk or a run and talk about blah blah blah. It's like stretching the boundaries of the norms. I think that's the whole deeper dimension of where a lot of people, like beyond streaming life, it's like people innately. Amy, did he say brothers' eyes were the same? Oh, I did not. I forgot to respond to that. I honestly have never seen. I have no idea. In truth, yeah. I never answered. I've actually never seen my brother's eyes up close. Like, I mean, I'm assuming he's genetically like the same. Like genetically, we have a little bit slight differences. Like I think he's got like a half an inch a height on me, and I have a thinner face slightly, or at least I did as a kid. Yeah, I don't know. We have very like identically genetically we're identical, but surely there's slight differences like birthmarks and maybe like little dimensions. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he also has, you know, one eye, one color. I'm gonna grab some tea right quick to drink tea. Yeah, but the idea is like I'm almost thinking aloud. Just I like to openly reflect on like my opinion because it's interesting. Like as a dude, I think this is part of what I would identify as part of my success as a streamer or whatever. Is like there's no part of me that's ever been like enamored with the streamer space or ideal or ideology or community. It's like I've actually never even been a part of a streamer community. Like never. It's literally like never crossed my mind for any reason. It just doesn't make sense. I'm not very involved in the gaming community. I used to as a kid, but I wasn't like a member of the community in that sense. And I've never in my life like desired to be a streamer. It was never like, oh right, we're gonna be a streamer. It's like I just had the vision. I was like, I'm growing a YouTube channel. I'm have a vision to grow a YouTube space, a community, and grow this giant thing, this portal. And I realized in real time, like the moment I unlocked streaming ability, I was like, oh wait, live streaming. That's a thing. That's wild. I've never thought about what a live stream would be or what I would do with it. But naturally, basically the process of me becoming a streamer has been so organic. A lifetime of 17 years or 16 and a half years of being an artist, of being whatever, where I'm not trying to be anything or do anything in any sort of way, based on any other person or a streamer, because I have no reference. I have zero reference points. I've never, I don't even know what other streamers are doing. I don't know what other people are doing in the stream space. I'm literally just doing whatever intuitively flows through. I think that's why it's so effective and why, again, I'm like able to almost like organically understand what it means to integrate the experience of being a YouTuber, but also a streamer so effectively because I'm not trying to think about it even. It's just like, I'm like, how intuitively can I draw the same parallel to living as a human being, like an integral, harmonious sense? How can I apply that to this sophisticated model that is forged with your phone, that is via live streaming? And I think, for some, again, I can't speak for the majority, I can't speak of other people's experience innately, but, some people might get caught. They might get caught in their mind. They might overthink it. They might think too much about trying to compare themselves to others, which people do, sadly. But it's like they think so much about, like, I want to be a streamer, instead of just doing what it means. Or just instead of just doing streaming, instead of just, like, realizing that you can be whatever the hell you want to be. And obviously, too, for me, like, I've spoken this openly, is I'm a performer. I've done performance art for 15, 16 years. I busk, do things on films. It's like, I do stuff that's, for me, doing a live stream, like, even the most immediate context from some people are like, whoa, that's a lot. You're thousands of people playing music, blah, 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 this and that. For me, this is like, it's low. It's a low tier list thing that is invoking discomfort. Like, if the small amount of discomfort that I could say would ever arise, which is basically never, on, say, a live stream, like the thought of, like, oh, be a live streamer, public sphere, this and that is such a low discomfort thing compared to the things that I actually do in the real world. Like, really, it's like when I'm doing, like, acrobatics on festival stages and freaking going on dance floors and bunch of strangers and meeting people on the fly and freaking going on film sets and around, big ass things and a film context and blah 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 blah. It's like, not to stroke my own ego, it's just the fact that matters, I'm engaging in so much discomfort that is far vaster than what any stream could be. So for me, any little realm where I'm hopping into this stream space and be like, oh yeah, like, this is, like, easy for me to do things that other people might see as, like, uncomfortable. Like, whoa, you're speaking your truth and philosophies and playing guitar. It's like, not only are these things that anyone can do, like, literally anybody can do that. It's like, in the context of how you should be applying yourself in the real world. In the real world, there is real discomfort out there, but you realize that discomfort is not a thing to fear. Like, there's no reason to fear pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Like, there's no reason to be like, oh, word, I'm going to go to a beach and meet a bunch of strangers and play some guitar for strangers and, I don't know, dance with random strangers that you just meet that are now friends. It's like, this is shit you should feel like, oh, yes, like, I get the role. This is beautiful. I'm a human being. They're a human being. Here we are. It's like, I think people should just get out of their heads and be like, oh, yeah, like, discomfort is where all the beauty happens. Even though your mind is going to tell you, like, that's a lot sometimes. I don't know. And there's good reason, like stress and trauma or whatever we all experience. And I was kind of speaking this the other day on my stream, right? When it was deeply relevant for me. And it's very much like, so much of our experience, and this may make perfect sense to the mass majority, but when you really think about this, so much of our experience can be returned to returning to the sacred context of the things in our life. This was a core realization I was sitting with when I was, like, looking at my life. I was feeling kind of sick, and I was like, a bit dysregulated, and I was like, wow, like, what is going on here? Like, what is really present here? Like, what if I look at my life and be like, what exactly is going on here? And that's where I wrote that song and released that song. And, I was talking all day about how I was trying to reflect on Osho's book, Love, Freedom, and Aloneness. And I thought to myself, how much of my own reality can be resolved, in a sense, by literally just returning to what it means to honor sacred love, sacred freedom, and sacred aloneness. Like, truly looking at those concepts, like, what is sacred love? What is sacred love when it manifests, how it materializes? And you look at your partnership, the people around you, what does it feel like truly to operate out of a place that is actually sacred love? And as Osho likes to underline, like, sacred love, like unconditional love. Love that is beyond the model of your thinking that, it's fear-based. It's rooted in fears, based on fear of this and that. It's like a safe, unconditionally loving, sacred love, like a higher context of love. What does that look like in the truest sense? And how, maybe as a person, have we deviated from that? And the same right, like what does sacred freedom look like? Freedom that is maybe attached to these models of love. Like what does it feel like to be free? To have a sacred context rooted in what it means to be free. Like being, I am free. I'm free to make healthy choices, free to honor myself, free to honor the sacred love and context of the relationships you're forming. You're free to go and deeper and honor what that looks like, that higher context of freedom. What is this? How is this seen? How is this nourished and cultivated? And then, of course, sacred aloneness, which is probably the most important foundational element of all these things. Sacred aloneness. How can you look at your own life and be like, wait, am I true and connecting to this level of sacred aloneness? Like being within my own space, in my own meditative space, or my own silence. And seeing how maybe we've stepped outside or removed ourselves from that sacred aloneness. Is it tea or bubbly? I don't know what to go. I feel like I had to sneeze, but then weird. Oh man, weird. Very weird. Bless. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Interesting. That's beautiful. I'm happy to hear about your songwriting. Yeah, I appreciate you expressing that, friend. Definitely. And I get the intent, the connotation flows through, and it makes perfect sense. I mean, whether I personally don't like to use, like at least in the context of being on a public sphere, sharing the truth of a sacred context. I don't like to associate words like God or religious ideologies, but I get what you mean, brother. I love your intention and thank you. And I hope you're feeling blessed in your life as well. And I definitely believe in like a deeper sacred context, source, higher consciousness. We can call it whatever we desire to call it, but yeah, I appreciate that though. Again, like it's beautiful to hear perspectives of those that they fall into different religious ideologies that are surely still just beautiful open-hearted people. Like I strongly believe this. Like I say this as a caveat many times when people are expressing religious or political ideologies where they're trying to share their truth. I'm like, all right, that is beautiful, they're sharing their truth. I can tell more or less that it expressed from a pure place, and I'm a fan of good people. Like I'm a fan of people that are authentic, that are just good, integral, ethically rooted people. It doesn't matter what your religious ideology is. But of course, I also like to be very forthcoming where it's like good people and bad people exist in every right, every realm, every ideology, every ethnicity, of all sorts, good and bad people. It's just like those perimeters of how we try to box people in. Those are something that I think as a man of like I guess communicative ability, I like to really just like poke holes in those narratives, like be like, as much as I like to hold space for people that are, trying to hold space for their own ideologies, whether it's religious or political. I'm always a strong advocate, being like, all right, let's have a conversation, let's air out and hold space for the deeper intention that transcends these like loaded conventions that we often attach to religions. Because like source consciousness, the divine energy, the sacred context of things, those are things that I would personally see as that's how I desire to look at these things beyond the loaded conventions that a lot of religions love to attach. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no. I don't know. I speak of it as an open caveat where in the real world, like someone says, this about that, or they preach whatever, I'll just like, I'll commend them, openly, majority of the time. I mean, I'm a professional setting the tone on a public sphere on a YouTube channel. So that's where these little speeches are being like, trying to just clarify, trying to communicate these little nuances of what I feel like, what I'm feeling is present. But I don't know. C'est la vie. I love the intention behind it, and I can see it clear as day. It's beautiful. Hydration. Thank you, brother. Will do. There's nothing in this world that can stop me from creating and doing and keeping this vision alive, but I deeply appreciate that. And yeah, I'm gonna keep on making music and creating until I die. This is a beautiful, beautiful reason I'm here. Life on Earth is like a break. Our true self is an infinite, wonderful movie. That's a beautiful perspective. Yeah, I agree with that. Like even as I spoke earlier, how yeah, we're here on this earth. It's like the Earth School. We're here to learn, feel into, and explore this three-dimensional realm. This is not real. This is not the human body. It's just unique to the human experience, and it's all like an extraordinary lesson that we get to learn. But yeah, it'd be surely bizarre to believe that this is the truer nature of who we are. To believe that like all these emotions and these complex human experiences are who we are. It's like that's not the truth. It's like we are beyond that, and it's a powerful blessing to get to learn to experience all of this. So being a nice person while also having a touch of anarchy of the mind, or analyzing, creating a paralysis of analysis. Interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's an interesting observation, my guy. Hawks. Yeah, it's like, I mean, I'm a little bit under the weather right now, but I mean, I still think I'm portraying myself and conveying my points beautifully. But it's like, yeah, the fact of the matter is, I believe in authenticity as we show up. I mean, for me, it's very organic. I'm an artist. I'm in the film industry. I do this, that, the other thing. I'm a YouTuber as we are. Is like for me, authenticity is a very highly held value where I don't just I honor it. And it's not even a choice. Truthfully, I don't like choose. I mean, maybe I do in some regard, but I've always like required authenticity. It's almost like for many many years, if I wasn't like honoring my authentic truth, being like okay, write music of this regard or expressing myself, it was very challenging. Like I would be in a very difficult place. I would basically self destruct in the simplest right. But I appreciate the sentiment so much, brother. And yeah, a touch of anarchy of the mind. Yeah. I mean, part of this beautiful piece of this is like I'm ever so human. It's the sort of the core thing I love to return to. It's like we are just simply 3D beings. We're in the 3D. We are just products of this beautiful world in the 3D. And that's beautiful. Like that's not like a negative or positive thing. That's like as much as I am, however I portray myself and how I like to explore maybe higher dimensions or metaphysical anomalies, etc., or, create music from a place that is somewhere beautiful and blissful and warm. I'm also just a human being. Like, I'm imperfect. I'm imperfect in who I am. Like, I truly am the reflection of a being that's in this 3D reality. And if I'm authentically showing up, it's going to be imperfect. I'm flawed. I'm gonna fall short to some degree. That being said, like that's kind of the beauty of like doing these streams, being a YouTuber, is like often, if not mass majority of the time, because I'm on a grind right now. I've been like grinding the last like 6 months or so to get monetized, and fortunately, I got monetized yesterday, the first time ever. Got super chats. I don't even know if I've actually hooked up the super chat function, but I'm basically on par to being monetized. But basically what I'm saying is, part of what's been a present part of this human or this YouTube experience is I show up whether I'm having like the best day of my life or the worst day of my life. Sometimes I'll show up for less. Sometimes, I'll just focus on creating music and transmuting energy. But the idea is that I really desire to just, you know, be transparent with showing my authentic self, just showing up. Even right now, I'm kind of a little bit sick, like very slightly. I feel good, but it's like I'm a little bit out of the weather. I'm feeling nasally or talk nasally, but the idea is like, that's beautiful. Like, for what it is like, I'm a 3D human being, as you are. Like, we're just imperfect. We have highs and lows. We go through emotions. We get sick. We get better. We go whatever, right? It's like, part of the beauty of being a streamer is I'm showcasing all of that. Like, you can see, if you desire to, you can see all the parallels of how I show up in different ways in different days, and it's beautiful. It's like a very powerful exercise for myself, but of course for all. Have you read any J. Krishnamurti? I don't think so. I don't think so. I know that I met a fellow who, was like practicing that religion. Like, he'd say Hail Krishna, and he was a very beautiful soul. And he shared with me his experience of going to a temple and reading a lot of that literature. And he gave me a little pamphlet. So that's probably the most that I've read of it. It was some very nice, poetic, very beautiful wording, beautiful words. I haven't really like explored. I don't know exactly what that's called. Hail Krishna. So I guess, yeah, whatever it is, Krishna ideology. It's nice though. It's like, I gotta say, the one fellow that I bumped into that really seemed to love that realm and would go to a temple and return with a bunch of pamphlets and things and give them out to people and just like bless people with good energy, seemed like a phenomenal soul. I was like, he's doing an exemplary job of passing on good energy. And if this is in the word of, Krishna, and he's doing his thing, then amazing, amazing. Like, he's doing a great example of what that religious ideology should be doing. What is my band called? I do not have a band as of current, yeah? I am a solo artist. I'm primarily a composer and a sound healer. I'm gonna create a band in the future, but we'll see when that happens. Wow, it's such a beautiful day. Well, I think what we're gonna do is we're probably in the next couple minutes we'll put a close to the stream at 2.5 hours, and then I don't know, maybe I think what the key idea is I might go to the gym for like half hour, 40 minutes, feel into my energy, maybe grab some juice, maybe go down to the beach, do a live stream at some place in the beach. Yeah, yeah, magic. I do not have any of that. No, I have some old footage with my previous partner where I did a sound journey. But no, I'm not like a quintessential touring musician type. In the future, I think I would love to do journeys, or I would do sound journeys in venues. But that's not where we're at right here. I appreciate the interest though, brother. As of current, we're basically on the quest of growing a full time YouTube channel, traveling, being like a nomadic YouTuber, and in the future, absolutely, like I would love to do refined sound journey performances. But that's not where we're at right now. That's not my focus. What's good, OPT? Thank you, brother. Yeah, I'm feeling already. That's the weird part. Is my immune system is so like weird, where it's like even if I feel a little bit under the weather, I heal very quickly. Like I'll be like immediately, like in a day or two, my whole body feels better. But then I'll still have symptoms that are lingering, and then like it's been like 3 days, and I think probably the next day or two, my symptoms will probably just disappear. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Onions and garlic are both natural medicines. Yeah. Yeah, I think I just gotta get nourishing. And yes, thank you, Billy. Thank you so much, brother. Yeah, I missed that. I missed your first message where I didn't respond, but thank you. Thank you so much for the good energy, and yeah, thank you for the. I feel proud of me as well, brother. Appreciate it. Like honestly, again, I'm kind of. It's funny. I'm almost desensitized, but also in a place where I'm like, holding space for the accomplishment. But even like it's like desensitized, but also just like so focused on trying to just be present with myself. But it's a beautiful accomplishment. Like I honestly, I can surely say that I'm like elated to know how much potential I'm sitting on of what is now going to manifest, especially in the coming weeks, like a week and a half. I swear, about 11 days, give it about 11, 12 days at the most, and then I'll be at 4,000 watch hours, or I get ad revenue. So that's exciting. It's just a little beautiful step forward. A sound journey it's like an improvised composition that is performed live. Like, maybe it's like instruments like flutes, um, like piano riffs, guitar riffs, didgeridoo, different like sound. It's almost like an ancient style of creating music. Like it's like you layer music, and then yeah, class. But yeah, honestly too, if it's more synonymous to like a sound journey is similar to a sound bath. Like you may have heard of a sound bath, like it's like a gong bath. There's things that are gong baths or sound baths where people are basically experiencing frequencies. Like they'll hit sound bowls and hit a sound bowl, or hit a gong. Maybe they'll have some gentle flutes or hand pans and tingsas or whatever. That's a gong bath or sound bath. A sound journey is more so the same, but more so involving actual compositions that stream into each other. So it's basically like you'll have all these different sounds that it's like a very like ancient. It's almost like it's like a sacred ritual where you're like here you're using sound instruments similar to a sound bath, but instead of just sound instruments, there's also usually guitars and voice and maybe some piano in there and flutes, and it's like you're creating a whole sound journey. So that's what a sound journey is. Yeah. It's a thing I've just organically been exploring the last like 4 years or so, kind of inspired from a few artists that I've came across, like artists like Porangi, artists like East Forest, artists like Wagal. Those are artists that are also create like very ominous sort of sound journeys, and that's kind of loosely what I've inspired my or influenced my style. I've actually was been creating sound journeys before I knew any of these artists, but once I saw that these guys are doing something similar and taking it to like heights, and they're all like 10 years older than me, then I was like, this is a thing. This is a really cool thing. Yeah, sick or not, I'm just looking forward to, I don't know, just have full tonality. That's the thing I just simply miss is like I just want to be able to speak, to like verbalize. I mean, it's not the end of the world to lose tonality for a little bit, but yeah. Wow, there's a spoon that I placed there like a week ago. Very nice. I mean, especially as a YouTuber, where it's like YouTuber guy, whatever, who likes to speak words. I like to, I like to pronounce and just like fully articulate with like lots of depth. So it's kind of a weird feeling to not be able to do that successfully, but it is what it is. I think the move, honestly, for some reason, perpetually, all I want to do is just get some juice and just go to the beach. Like, I feel like for some reason, the weather, all I want to do is just play pan flute and do handstands on the beach. Even if I'm a little bit sick, like, that's the reality. It's like, it doesn't matter. I can just chill on the beach, listen to the waves, do qigong. It's a win-win every given right. Like, there's basically no wrong time to go to the beach, truthfully. Doesn't matter if you're feeling like on top of the world or bottom of the world or, you know. Yeah. Have you heard of Mongolian throat singing? Yes. Do what they said, four sounds, harmonize. Yes. I love Mongolian throat singing. Yeah, I've actually shared, there's an artist called Wagal that does a lot of Mongolian throat singing in a very beautiful way that I've been very drawn to. Yeah, Wagal. And yeah, Mongolian throat singing, I've actually, on the stream, like probably a week or two back, I was actually doing a little bit of that. I was like exploring low tones, like toning, very much using Mongolian throat singing. I'm very new to it, but I was exploring it, and it was very, very interesting. It's like Mongolian throat singing is like similar to chanting. You feel it, like it's a felt thing. You feel in doing those like, oh, like very deep, rich tones. It's just like courses through through your experience. Wow, this is weird. I'm just randomly looking at this Private Samuel Tilt. Enlisted in Nanaimo, 1916. Because this is my great grandfather and his nice mustache. 72nd Battalion, Seaford Highlanders. Yeah. What a time. 1916 European War. Wow. All right, all right. Magic. All right, well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to put a close to the stream. Wow, just smacked my. The idea is probably just do some songwriting, maybe go to the beach, just live and let your body nourish. It's so weird every 5 seconds feeling like I gotta sneeze, but. C'est la vie. Yeah, and honestly, brother, Wagal is just such a talented artist. Like, he's a really brilliant guitarist as well. But seeing his path unravel as a sound healer, it really inspires me. And he makes some of the most high tier Mongolian throat singing. It's like so original. The dude's he's like my age. He's literally like my age, maybe a little bit younger. And he's making these like Mongolian throat singings, creating like an ancient sound. Like, I have so much respect for Wagal. Incredible artist. Yeah. I think the sound healing is the tones and send the lungs are cleared out. Aboriginals in Australia and Christian monks. Yeah. It's very healing to like the lower chakras. Most definitely. Phenomenal. Yeah, it's crazy. Just on a closing note, I mean, you may or may not be familiar, but the guy that discovered Changa, he's a Australian. Where I think I have his name here. No, oh, maybe it's before that. Match my search history. But the guy that discovered Changa is from Australia. He's an Australian scientist of sorts. Brilliant dude. He was. I was speaking earlier as on Soul of Jarrett. Soul of Jarrett does a talk with the creator of Changa about Phylodium puncella. Phylodium puncella. And holy man, like, what an interesting interaction. I just love hearing about this Australian fellow just innovating modern psychedelics and then just having such a humble, playful spirit. It just makes me love Australians even more. Like, I'm like, okay, like, this guy literally created one of the most beautiful compounds I've ever, discovered. And he's just, like, casually promoting this compound. It's just very beautiful. Very beautiful honoring of that sort of psychedelic realm in the culture. It's great. Yeah. Magic. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for chiming in. Man, my voice is just so cooked. This is what it is. It'll be gone soon. This nasal stuff. I feel like I sound like a different person. Just doesn't sound like there's no authority, there's no richness in my voice. It's all just nasal. But anyways, thank you so much for chiming in, friends. Really deeply appreciate the support. It's been a phenomenal journey, and it's only getting started. Everything's only really just gonna just reach some beautiful heights. I'm really getting excited with the experimental realms of exploring with. Before I got sick, actually, the long format content ideas that I've been exploring have been really wild. Like, I've been really having some really cool, innovative stuff going on, and I'm really excited to share and make higher quality content and music, and then just push this portal to a whole new place. But yeah, of course, brother, we're always just honoring this portal and pushing ourselves in a beautiful way, of course. Magic. Cool. Anyways, thank you so much for chiming in. Deeply appreciate the support. This content resonates. My voice just sounds so botched, but it is what it is. It is what it is. This is funny. It's just entertaining. Thank you so much for chiming in. Appreciate the support. Feel free to follow this channel if this content resonates with you. And yeah, I teach guitar, do meditative sound journeys. Thank you so much. Remember to honor yourself and honor each other. Thank you, brother. Yeah, you gotta laugh. You gotta just be. Gotta just be magic. Appreciate you guys. Much love. Peace out. Peace out, OPT.